thing that I respect the most out of Isaiah is Isaiah's got a chip on his shoulder no matter who he's playing against, because it's kind of the way he's always been wired, and it's why he's where he is. So you don't see a ton of off nights from a guy like that. And, you know, hey, that's a challenge as you continue to get more attention and publicity because you get everybody's best shot. But he's, you know, I said this before the game. I see a lot in Portland, what I see in our team of, you know, there's a lot of guys on both squads with a chip on their shoulder, and certainly Isaiah is up there. And from what I've read about Lillard, he seems like a guy that's up there, and he's had a remarkable year as well.
NBA, they still don't respect us, and we know that. We go into every game with a chip on our shoulder, knowing that we got to earn the respect. And we got to earn what we get and take what's ours. And we feel like every game we got a chance to win, and if we play the right brand of basketball, we got to just keep it going in these last 20 games of the season.
The Celtics destroy and bury the other coach of the month, Terry Stotts, and the Portland Trail Blazers. They won 116-93. Let's break it down, guys. Guard Report, CLNS Radio, and Celtics Blog, powered by Grandstand.
Yes, I'm the boss.
Welcome to the Garden Report. I am Jared Weiss. I'm joined by Jimmy Toscano. It's just like last episode, but different sweaters this time.
Different sweaters.
So let's talk about this game.
Real quick, Brad Stevens is, I wanted to get this in the opening, but I said, wait 1 second. Brad Stevens is the official coach of the month for February after taking down Terry Stotts.
If you somehow,
it's official.
If you somehow haven't figured that out by now, I mean, there can only be one coach of the month.
It was a Hell in the Cell match. I don't know if you guys saw it after the game. They actually went in this Hell in the Cell match, and he came out the victor.
I didn't even know there was still a cell in the garden.
Oh, it's there.
Just for these kind of situations. So, Garden Report time. The Celtics won this game. And
they did.
They won it in like the second
handily.
quarter, and then they really won it in the third quarter. Jared Solinger was great. Marcus Smart was great. But first, we have to once again acknowledge Isaiah Thomas off the top, because once again he had an unbelievable game. The guy's a chip on his shoulder. I don't know why at this point. He has been absolutely dominant.
His nickname's
every single
Chip.
game.
That's what I'm calling him. That's what I'm going to call him.
I don't know why we haven't started calling him that
Chip
yet.
Thomas.
Yeah, and Chip sounds like a short guy's name too.
It does actually a little bit.
Chip
yeah.
Toscano.
Listen, I'm not so sure how much longer Isaiah Thomas can play the respect card and the chip on the shoulder card, because it's almost on a nightly basis now where he's becoming the best player on the court. By all means, use it if that's what works for him. I don't think that's something that's just going to go away. I think there is a lot of truth to the fact that he does go into the game with a chip on his shoulder, and I'm wondering if that's kind of carried over to some of his teammates who we heard tonight also seem to feel the same way, and I know we'll get into that. But Isaiah Thomas, once again, I mean, he just carried these guys. When you're talking about a game that featured Damian Lillard and now an up-and-comer and C.J. McCollum, and Isaiah Thomas was the best player on the court from start to finish. I mean, even when Lillard and McCollum were hitting shots in the first half, Isaiah had 19 points in the first half, I believe. So he outscored them there. He's doing it in multiple ways. He's getting to the hoop. He's got this little move now where he drives to the hoop and he throws up that little floater layup that just sort of teardrop right in there.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So at the beginning of the year, he brought out that kind of like classic jump shot style floater. But now he's taking a finger roll floater, and it's like lobbing over Noah Vonleh, dropping in there. I mean, these shots are really rare type of shots.
If you look when he does those layups, those little finger roll layups, if you look at everyone in the stands, everyone's like this, watching the ball, like they're looking up and down, and everyone's like, yeah, because it's like you kind of take your eye off everything else at that moment.
It's exciting to watch.
It is.
But he's making the smart plays too, and it's not just those incredible finger rolls. It's the passing, and we talked about it on the last episode. We saw it more tonight, where he knows the system so well now that he's throwing the ball to guys that he isn't even seeing, knowing that they're going to be there. He had one play tonight where he drove left to right through like a triple team, and then spun back and nailed the pass through traffic to get to the three-point shooter. He's done it like almost like, I want to say the last 4 games in a row he's had a great pass like that, where he's throwing it purely on muscle memory.
Yeah, and it's one of those games where if you look at the box score and you'll only see 2 assists, you'll be like, oh, okay. But he actually did have.
Oh, okay.
He did, but he did move the ball around tonight. I know exactly what you're saying. It's just one of those games. And Marcus Smart, actually, where you mentioned a nice pass, I thought he had like probably the nicest pass of the game. in the first quarter, I believe, when he drove to the hoop, wrapped it around one of the players, and found Jay Crowder in the corner. That's another example of just a point guard making the right pass at the right time.
Yeah, that's a pass that Smart's starting to work into his game, where he's driving all the way to the rim, clearly with the intention of doing the wraparound pass. It'll just get around the guy's hip and then rifle it to the corner.
That's right.
Yeah, he'll wrap it up. The guy's an Xmas fiend. And he was another guy that talked about that chip on his shoulder. Avery Bradley talked about that chip on his shoulder. Everybody's hungry in the Celtics.
Even Jared Sullinger said, they're overlooked. So that's the theme. I think that's the theme in these next 20 games. These guys are going to play the underdog card, and it's working for them. And they might be onto something, because when the playoffs do start, they will be, by the second round. I mean, the first round, I think people would expect them to win that. But in the second round, they're going to be the underdog again, assuming they get there. And even in the first round, whoever they play, that won't be a bad matchup for that other team. They want to avoid Cleveland. They want to avoid Toronto. They don't necessarily mind if they end up playing the Celtics, and that's going to be a point of contention for those teams, those playoff teams, 8, 7, and 6, what order they get in. Everyone's going to be fighting for that 6th seed, I think. So that's something that they know, and I think they're going to use that.
Those are just more chips.
Chips.
It's like a family-sized bag of chips and motivation right there. Extra salted Lay's. No, it's salty. All right, let's go to the part 2 here. Before we do, we got to do the Grandstand play of the game. Grandstand, the app for fans in the stands.
That's right.
Go to clnsradio.com/grandstand app to download Grandstand in the App Store, and obviously you can just go straight to the App Store. But go to that link, because we get credit and we prove to our friends at Grandstand
I have the app.
how valuable our show is.
I already watched this clip, Isaiah Thomas.
Jimmy Toscano has the app, so I don't know why you don't. I assume Jimmy is your main role model for all things in life. So go get that app.
Should be.
What else are you going to expect here? Isaiah Thomas, another nifty finger roll in an incredible game for him. We'll be right back with part 2 of the Garden Report. Stay on this playlist and stay tuned.
Yeah, I play with a chip on my shoulder every single night. Every single night, and I know everybody else does. Every single game, I'm trying to prove to people that I can play both ends of the floor on my team and be consistent.
I think most of us been doing that our whole lives, So, it's nothing new to us. We understand we're a young team and we have a lot to learn. And but at the same time, we're all competitors and we love to win. So we're gonna find a way to go out there and compete every night.